Francisco, Portuguese monkey with Russian accent, who's going to outperform my stock picks by playing dartboard with S&P 500 stocks. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I've printed off the S&P 500 list, and I'm going to make a monkey compete against my personal stock portfolio. I'm going to be giving this guy a fictional $100,000 and a fake brokerage account just to see if, am I actually better at picking companies than a monkey? So this is going to be a really fascinating experiment that I look forward to kind of keeping track of going into the new year. So let's just jump right into this. Welcome back, passive income investors. Like today we asked the age-old question, can a monkey outperform my stock picks? So today what we're going to do is we're going to take Francisco, Portuguese monkey with Russian accent, and we're going to turn him into a dart. And the way we're going to do this is he's got these nice little sticky pals, and we're going to take his sticky pals and we're going to wrap this wonderful little marker around him. And we're basically going to take the S&P 500, because we ain't want trash companies in this little pick. We want those top 500. And we're going to see if by throwing the monkey at the S&P 500 list can outperform my personal stock portfolio. Now, unfortunately, I'm not too lucid or familiar with the online free platforms that let you play with fictional money, but Scotiabank gives you a fake account with $100,000 in it, so I only have about 12 positions in my whole portfolio. So what we're going to do is make the monkey pick about 12 stocks, and then we're going to analyze them month over month and see if Francisco, Portuguese monkey with Russian accent, can outperform my personal stock picks. So we'll see if my intelligence is below the grade of a monkey's. So this should be a very fascinating little experiment that I look forward to carrying out into the new year. And let's just get right into it, guys. So we're going to try and use him as though he is a dart. And what I'm going to do, because I don't got a lot of room here, I'm going to come behind the camera, and I'm going to do this by looking through the camera, because honestly, I can't see what's on that board anyways, because those are so tinily written. So we're going to go for first one. Boom! Okay, well, it'll help if the monkey didn't turn around when I threw it. Be harder than I thought, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do a little bit of a lighter throw. Maybe we'll do a toss this time. A toss. Are we ready? A toss. Okay, well, it seems like his head always wants to flip around. How about we throw him ass backwards then? What about ass backwards? Will this work better? Maybe because I'm throwing him like this. Boom! Oh, bud! We got one. Kobe going long! That didn't work at all. The marker's actually starting to break. The monkey has spoken. I've gone through all the stocks on the list that were hit. I circled them and we've written them down. And what we're going to do now is we're going to head over into the actual Scotia iTrade platform, where they offer kind of a free practice account. We're going to spend about $100,000 divided between these dozen companies, and then we're just going to basically compete it against my overall stock portfolio. But these are fairly straightforward companies. There are some that I don't recognize on here, but the quick list goes as follows. We have Lam Research, Dominion Energy, Qualcomm, Honeywell, WestRock, Hershey, Ansys, Kraft Heinz, Carnival Corp, Healthpeak, Air Brake Tech, and Evergy. So let's head on over, see what these stocks cost, and just start buying them and filling the portfolio up, guys. All right, so let's take a quick peek and see what the monkey has chosen here to compete with my top holdings. Ladies and gentlemen, this margin practice account, we've gone ahead, we've finalized all the purchases, and we've used Canadian dollars because I live in Canada and all my accounts at the end of it get converted to CAD. So I avoided touching the US, stuck to the Canadian side of the border here. Mind you, these are all US companies because this is an S&P 500 pick. So it's going to be fun to see how these perform. Now, taking a quick look at some of the companies that I'm not 100% certain of that are newer to me are ones like Ansys Inc. This is one that I've never really heard of before. It doesn't pay a dividend, but has a pretty healthy 5-year performance. And when I looked this one up, it is an engineering company. I do believe that deals with software. Explore
pervasive engineering simulations. So I'm not 100% sure what this company does. It's one that I'm not familiar with at all, but it looks like it's a pretty techie-like company. Some of the more common ones that I'm sure we've all heard of that have actually been really popular amongst the dividend community is a company like Carnival. If you've never heard of Carnival before, guys, well, these guys are dealing with your cruise ships, Carnival, ladies, gentlemen, party time. Yeah, that's what this company is, and it's come up on the radar of a few dividend investors just because of the high yield, the fact that it's down, a pretty healthy 40%, 30 to 40%, making it a pretty attractive buy. I don't know anything about the company, so that could be a little speculative nonetheless. We got Dominion Energy, also a common energy stock amongst a lot of the dividend investors. Energy sector's been performing exceptionally well. What else do we got in here? We got Evergy, and not 100% certain on what Evergy is, but let's keep going through with some of the more interesting ones. We have Health Peak Properties. If you don't know what Health Peak Properties is, well, executing a clear strategy to achieve peak performance over the long term. So these are some of your healthcare companies. Very fascinating. Here's another interesting one that I found on that list, and it's called Lamb Research. Well, there's two that I really want to point out because I've never really heard of these, but ever wonder what's behind the devices we use every day? So this was a company that I wasn't aware that sat on the S&P 500, but Lamb, where's my Lamb? Lamb Research right here, ladies and gentlemen, but it sits in my stock portfolio, and it's a pretty massive company, I might say. Taking a look at the performance, we've got a decent little dividend yield, a little bit of healthy growth, not a bad pick. I don't have all day, and I don't want to waste your time analyzing what these companies do in and out, but if you have any comments or questions, I'd love to know what you guys think in that comments section below. So the last company I really want to look at here, ladies and gentlemen, so we got Qualcomm, obviously very popular. We got that Kraft Heinz, that's the Warren Buffett stock that's been his worst performer so far. As we can see, over the last year and a half, 2 years, we've taken a massive dip from all-time highs, but not the one that I wanted to look at. We get what Kraft Heinz does. We're talking about soups, things like that. But I want to look at Wabtec. Wabtec is a company that I found most interesting because it deals with brakes. And it says here we've got some updates. GE Transportation and WebTech have merged. I don't know what GE Transportation is unless General Electric deals with a lot of transport, but I'm pretty sure this is just a braking company, and all they focus on is different forms of braking for vehicles, which is really fascinating considering the company has done fairly well, and it actually pays a dividend too on top of that. So I'm going to have to, well, no, I'm saying fairly well. Actually, the company's been apparently pretty stagnant over the last 5 years. Nonetheless, we've been getting a dividend. What I'll have to do is a dividend update and see how much dividends we actually collect off these companies and see if they actually increase the dividends. But it's going to be super fascinating to see how this portfolio will perform against my basic stock portfolio.
So just to know what we're competing with, I'm going to show you the 12 companies that I currently have personally handpicked to see if it can outperform. Now, this might sound a little confusing because I actually own 13 companies, but one of those 13 is an S&P 500 index. So technically, the companies that I just bought with the monkey are companies I already own, and I didn't want an index fund to kind of skew what I'm trying to do here. So we're going to exclude this from the competition in and of itself, and this is the one that sits in my RSP account. But the 12 companies that we're going to be competing with are Johnson & Johnson, Tesla in my RSP account. In my managed account, we have MO, but we also have that across multiple accounts. So moving into my TFSA, where most of my positions fit my TFSA here, guys, we got Bank of Nova Scotia, Canadian Imperial Bank, Northland Power, Riocan Real Estate Investment Trust. There's MO again. We got Apple, British American Tobacco, GEO Group, Microsoft, and Southern Company, which have been doing exceptionally well as a combined total. So it's going to be really fun to see what a month-over-month comparison is going to look like from my personal picks versus, that fake fictional account that the monkey chose. What I might do as well, just for the giggles of it, is I might make like an S&P top 10, because if you take the Vanguard 500 and you take the top 10 of these companies, I think you would actually outperform most of the market, because that includes companies like Amazon, like a lot that I own as well, like Apple, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, but it would be neat to see how that would compare as well. But nonetheless, guys, this is where the competition begins, and it's going to be fun to see where it goes forward, and, is it really worth me buying individual stocks?
As of right now, just my Scotia iTrade account has a valuation of $124,489.
If you enjoyed the video, consider slapping like and subscribing for more Francisco and stock updates. Consider supporting channel by coming to Passive Income for Dummies, where you can join our private stock market chat group on WhatsApp, along with custom tracking tools, and of course our stock market investing for passive income course. Other than that, stay cool, stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to you real soon.